am Savvy Mike in this. Is I am Savvy Mike TV, and we have Faith Evans. She's talking about female rap culture, at least today, and how women shouldn't have to sexualize themselves. I think she even was diving into R&B culture as well, and just how women shouldn't have to sexualize themselves in order to sell their music and show their talent. And well, from a just a lover of music standpoint, I get her. I totally understand what her at. As a man, as long as more Meg the Stallions, Lottos, and Glorillas keep popping up, we get a Sexy Red and a Sukiana every now. And I'm not saying they are ugly or anything, but they're more on the ratchet side of it all. But the more bougie side of it all, bougie ghetto side of it all, some fine women, and I don't mind looking at their ass. If they gonna show it, I'ma look. Like, that's the world we live in, unfortunately. So either way, and I also do want a sincere apology to the Megan Thee Stallion fans. I pissed a lot of them off. I am sorry, okay? I know my hard truths was not enough for y'all to comprehend, but listen, outside of how I feel about Meg and Tory and that whole situation, I like Megan Thee Stallion's music, and I think she's a talented rapper. I just think she makes the same song over and over and over again. Now, when it's time to make a hit, she'll make a hit. But when it's time to make an album, most of it just sounds redundant. That's all. That's it. Don't put me on the cross and crucify me like I'm Jesus. Calm down. It's just, look, this is no hate towards Megan Thee Stallion. Do I think she lied? Yes. Okay? If that gets me more dislikes, then well, hey, here we are. But that's just the truth, okay? I do not think Tory Lanez shot her and said, dance, bitch, dance. That just sounds a bit over-exaggerated, even for a drunk gremlin like Tory. Okay? You see what I'm saying? I'm objective. I'm not on anybody's side. In my opinion, she did me a favor. So anyways, enough of that. Let's talk. Let's listen to what Faith Evans is talking.
I also, and I think I'm lucky because when people ask me questions about like the, a female in the male industry and how was that and was it rough, I think that can play a lot into things a lot more so in this current climate. It's, a lot of, it's about the sexuality part or sexualized element of things a lot more. Maybe a lot of females feel like that's what they need to sell.
Okay.
I've never really had that,
So that's important. That. Yeah. That's important, Faith. So knowing the climate of the industry and seeing what is required to sell, you being an artist still current and not having to do half of those things. Like, what would you tell that little girl that thinks that this is the only way, or this is the way to becoming successful?
Well, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
I definitely don't believe that. I believe that, if I still feel like real talent shines. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a lot easier to be heard. The window is way, way open with all of these different ways to be heard and platforms. But I think if you're really true to your core, if that's what your beliefs are, that you don't have to do that, then you got to stick with that.
Yeah.
And be rewarded later on for it. I mean, and it may, as tempting as it may be, or, but I think it's okay to turn things down or negotiate things, should I say.
Sure.
Because, someone may have an opportunity and look at it as if this is probably never going to happen for me again. I gotta, but sometimes you get more. You might be respected even more if you question
Right.
things, or especially if you already have your certain standards, you gotta stick with that,
Right.
And live in that and let that extend in every aspect, even in that type of situation, and you'll be respected for it.
Stand 10 toes.
And you'll be respected. Yeah. I've never ever felt that way. And don't get me wrong, that wasn't how I came into the industry. I wasn't, I was probably dressed more like a executive than a wannabe artist, you know what I mean? So, those things that came together, even with just having a certain fashion sense or a certain style, presentation, but you know,
Yeah.
that's not how it happened for me.
Right.
But again, it may not happen for everyone like that, but regardless to all of that, I still never felt that I had to, or I always knew if I'm the person that if that ever came to me in that way, it's hell nah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
like,
right.
nah, I ain't about that life.
And that's the cool thing, I guess, about that. Again, that era, sex appeal was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It was viewed a little different. It didn't have to include most of the stuff that's going on with the ladies of today. You trust me, the videos that you came out with and that you did back then was still considered sexy.
But even look at my photos just to go. Yeah. It was all just right here. Well, you didn't even see a neck,
right.
Let alone a chest or cleavage. You know,
right. But it was still a beautiful photo, and you have a beautiful face. So that does help, though.
Well, I guess, but a lot of people can. Thank you, but I mean, you know, makeup and a good photographer can do wonders for a lot of people.
That is true.
You know,
that is true. But yeah, I mean, but again, the standards changed, and sex appeal. I mean, sex appeal is always an element that people enjoy and appreciate, but it was just how you presented it back then that makes it different from today. Yeah. So, but that's good. That's great advice. But now we're going to have
I hope I did answer the question.
No, you did 100%. I think people got the message. Like, stand 10 toes. Don't compromise your morals, your code, and your integrity just to become famous, because that seems to be the norm these days. And young ladies need to understand that that's not necessarily the prerequisite to being successful.
I totally agree with the sentiments here. When it comes down to it, I get, you know, mainstream wise. That's why, you know, the only really mainstream female rapper that I truly respect and I truly will put amongst the greats, just rap in general, is Nicki Minaj. That's it. Because I know it's her doing it. I know it's her pen. Yes, she might have coke rants every now and then. You know, she might be off a bench. It's okay. Either way, she knows how to make some good music. And she's been doing it her whole career. So, I salute Nicki regardless of it. Now, the rest of these other rap girlies, rap baddies, if anything, they still got a lot to prove to me. Even Dolce. The only one that's really, like, on that consistent level at the moment, for me at least, is Glorilla. But they all do have one thing in common. They all use their ass to sell their music. You know? And in a sense, it is a cheat code. But regardless of it, you do have to respect, I guess, the grind and hustle. Because if anything, we just got a bunch of strippers rapping. That's all it is. A bunch of women that just tease you. Want you to throw dollars at them, whether that's through streams or buying their albums or giving them clout. Like, just want you to do it in that way. And yeah, they'll show some ass, they'll show some titties, and they'll probably make a good rap song. Because unfortunately, you know, they've come up with a formula for that now in the music industry. This is how you make a hit. So they just get their fucking lab rats to working, and there you go. There's a hit for Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or Lotto. I'm just saying. This is just the truth of the matter. But it's some women that are authentic. I like I said, Glorilla is the most consistent one for me. I feel like I know that's her rapping, and she's growing, she's getting better, she's evolving. Yeah, she is a baddie. She feels herself, and she definitely sexualizes herself like the rest of the women. But at the end of the day, if you are good, like if you're really good, then that's gonna outshine all of that regardless. Like it did with Nicki. It didn't matter. Like, Nicki could be hypersexual and my anaconda don't. She could do all of that, and it worked because she was just still a good artist. Like, she was still a good rap artist. She could still rap with Jay-Z and Eminem and Lil Wayne. So it's like, oh no, she's top tier level. The rest of these women haven't proved that, and they honestly, I don't think they want to prove that. I think they're happy with just being a rap baddie. I remember it was a quote I saw Cardi B. She had said after this rap shit like starts drying up and I'm falling off. I've made enough money. I'm not gonna care anymore. I'm just gonna be in the club every night. Like that's exactly what she said. She's like, I'm being in the club tonight. I'm not gonna give a fuck because I'm only here to make money. I'm not here to be a great rapper. I'm not here to be a great musician, a great artist. No, I am just here to make money. And in a sense, that's the only reason a lot of these rap baddies are here, to make a bag. It is, like I said, it is something that I feel like one have the passion and the talent, and it bleeds through. Glorilla, I even say JT, you know, it bleeds through because they actually have an ear and they can pen raps, as you can hear it. But regardless of all that, when it comes down to it, overall, Rap City and No Name are the best female rappers out right now to me, over everybody. And that's just off of just skill and talent and artistry and musicianship. So it is women out there that aren't hypersexualizing themselves and making amazing music. And the problem is, the reason they're not pushing through the mainstream, because unfortunately they're not hypersexualizing themselves. And I would never want Rap City to do that. I would never want No Name to do that. Like, I would feel like they would be disrespecting their own morals and what they preach in their music. And it's sad that if they want that big mainstream push, unfortunately they're gonna have to do that. And it's sad that's where the industry is. You know what I mean? And I get what Faith Evans is saying. Don't compromise who you are. Continue to be who you. But most of these women, who they are is just money grabbing hoes. So if they gotta shake some ass and show some pussy to do it, then hey, so be it. So fucking be it. There goes another 20 dislikes. Anyways, I am Savvy Mike in this. I am Savvy Mike TV. Like I said, No Name and Rap City, they're better than any female rapper you can come to me with. At the end of the day, it's them. It's a big two for me. Well, the big three for me is them. Nicki Minaj, Rap City, and No Name. That's my big three as far as female rap goes. Everybody else is just making thought music. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.